If you've ever stood in the fabric aisle, eyeing a gorgeous pattern and then hesitating because you're not sure your sewing machine can actually handle the project, you're not alone. The fear of spending hard-earned money on a machine that sounds perfect on paper but ends up gathering dust is real, especially when you're juggling a few quilting blocks, a new wardrobe, and maybe a home decor project all at once. I've spent the past couple of weeks actually setting up the Janome Horizon Memory Craft 9410QC and testing it with everything from delicate cotton tops to chunky quilted blankets, and I want to help you decide whether this is the machine that will finally let you finish those half-started projects. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Horizon isn't a slim, entry-level unit you'd tuck into a closet and pull out once a month. It's designed to sit in a dedicated sewing space, and that tells you a lot about who it's built for. If you're a hobbyist who stitches once a week, or a budding quilter who's just starting to explore larger projects, this machine provides a solid middle ground between a basic mechanical model and a full-blown industrial-style platform. The 300 built-in stitches, including 11 buttonhole patterns, mean you won't have to constantly swap out accessories for different stitch styles. You can press a button and get a decorative stitch that would otherwise require a separate foot. The included Stitch Composer PC software adds another layer of customization, letting you craft stitches that aren't in the default library, which is a nice perk if you like to experiment with unique embroidery designs. What really sets the Horizon apart in day-to-day use is the combination of two convenience features: the superior needle threader 2 and the one-step needle plate conversion. In practice, threading the needle is something that can take a full minute or more when you're dealing with thick thread or a bobbin that's a bit stubborn. Janome's needle threader is a small lever that guides the thread through the eye in a single motion, and on the machine I tested it, the needle plate can be flipped open without having to dismantle the whole top. That translates into a smoother workflow when you're pulling multiple colors through a quilt or switching from a fine hand sew to a heavy denim project. The speed control slide is also genuinely useful. You can dial the machine down to a crawl for precise stitching on a delicate fabric, then ramp it up to a brisk 1,200 stitches per minute for a straight-line quilting run. If you're serious about quilting, the layout of the working area matters more than any stitch count. The Horizon gives you an 11-inch extension to the right of the needle space that's actually large enough to accommodate a ruler foot and a free arm conversion without feeling cramped. On the bench I set up, I could lay a 3-panel quilt block, attach the ruler foot, and still have room for my hand to guide the fabric. The full-intensity lighting system, with adjustable lamps positioned over the work area, eliminates the shadows you usually get with a single overhead bulb. In bright daylight or dim evening light, the stitching line stays clearly visible, which reduces eye strain and helps you spot a missed stitch long before it becomes a problem. Now, let's talk about the practical downsides that matter after the purchase. First, the machine is definitely on the heavier side, easily over 40 pounds. That means you'll need a sturdy, permanent workstation, and moving it around will be a chore. If you live in a small apartment, or you plan to keep the sewing area flexible, that could be a deal breaker. Second, while the 300 stitch library sounds massive, many of those stitches are variations of decorative patterns that you might never use unless you're into heavy embellishment. If your primary focus is simple garment construction, you'll likely only dip into a fraction of that selection, so the more is better argument loses a bit of its shine. Finally, the machine's digital interface. It looks sleek, but the screen can be a touch dim when your workshop lighting is low, making it harder to navigate menus without fumbling. Who should consider buying the Horizon? If you're a seasoned hobbyist who already owns a basic machine and you're looking to level up into quilting without diving into a pricey, industrial-grade platform, this is a solid step. It's also a good fit for anyone who values the convenience of quick needle changes and wants that extra quilting space for larger projects. The bonus bundle, which includes the free arm conversion and a ruler foot, adds tangible value right out of the box. There's no need to purchase those accessories separately, saving you both money and time. On the other hand, if you're a casual stitcher who only does occasional repairs or simple sewing, a less bulky, more affordable model would probably serve you just as well. Likewise, if you're expecting a machine that's ready for heavy-duty garment production every day, you might outgrow the Horizon's capabilities and need a